Hey guys, it's me, Mira, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 21 things that I've learned whilst being 21. What? 21. So I can't believe that I'm 21 still. I still feel like I'm 17 years old. The fact that I'm gonna be turning 22 in August is very scary, but also exciting. 21 has been a very weird time, and I have learned some pretty crazy stuff. Okay, not really. So let's get into it. Let's go. Number one, put yourself first. I feel like that's a very simple thing, but I feel like it's very hard to kind of grasp. Growing up, I always kind of didn't really put myself first when I was younger. I always felt like I had to kind of do things for other people and let people do things ahead of me, if that makes sense. Now that I'm like 21, I've realized I don't have time to waste. Like, I have to do things for myself, and if you have goals to achieve, don't let anyone make you feel like you're behind. Number two, who I was 5 years ago is not who I am now. This is something that I've really struggled with. I feel like when I kind of went into uni, whole new world, a whole new perspective of myself, I kind of kept looking back at who I was like 5 years ago, or even younger when I was like a child. I'm slowly kind of trying to tell myself that who I was 5 years ago is just not who I am now. I have changed, and change is good. I've learnt new things, I've grown as a person, and that's completely normal. Just don't beat yourself up for like thinking that you have to be a certain person. Who you are 5 years ago is not who you are now. Number three, take time for yourself. This is kind of similar, I guess, to the first one, but specifically just kind of giving yourself time alone. I think is very important, such as like self-care, like doing kind of like your skincare routine, or like even your shower routine. Doing those things like very slowly and having that time for yourself is very important. I think when you are around people or doing work and feel like you're busy all the time, you can get a little bit too much, you know, a little bit too much up there. So going that little extra bit for looking after yourself is really important. Okay, number four, take a break from social media. I feel like this one's pretty obvious, and lots of people say to take a break from social media. You don't obviously have to go that whole mile if you don't want to. I don't think I have done that. I've never kind of gone a day without being on social media, which kind of sounds a little bit crazy. But just kind of like consuming all this stuff that you don't really need to. Could be like actually doing things that you enjoy, just doing small things. If you don't exactly want to get rid of social media, just like unfollowing people that you feel like you don't need to follow. You'll feel a lot better when you find that you unfollow those people, or just kind of completely get rid of an app that you feel like you don't need. You'll feel a lot better, trust me. Number five, it's okay to not know what you're doing. This was very hard for me to grasp as well once I came out of uni, and I still kind of don't know what I'm doing. I have kind of a broad idea, but I hate kind of having no purpose or a kind of structure and routine. So kind of not knowing what I'm doing it's scary, but I think because I also have so many things that I do like doing, it's like very hard for me to kind of choose one thing. You don't have to be completely certain with what you're doing with your life every single moment of the day, so that's completely fine. Number six is you don't have to feel sorry for feeling the way that you do. Having your boundaries and knowing when you kind of feel like doing something, and then it's also okay when you don't feel like you want to do something. For example, when you're like friends asking you to go somewhere but you feel like you don't really want to do that thing, it's okay to be like, no, I don't want to go. And yeah, you don't have to feel sorry for doing everything that you do, like any actions that you do. It's your choice to not do something, or if you want to do something, having your boundaries, that's completely fine. Number seven is that we are all human at the end of the day. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but what I mean is just that I feel like we get so caught up in things and kind of overthink things, and it's like, oh, I wish I could have done this, or like, why can't I be good at this, da da da. But like at the end of the day, when you really think about it, you're literally just here existing on earth. You know, things are gonna go bad, things are gonna go good. We're literally human. Like, just enjoying simple things in life, like just literally sitting on your bed in silence is kind of a good thing, to just be like in the moment instead of trying to do 50 things at once. Number eight, don't stress about your career. Again, once I came out of uni, I was so obsessed with like personality quizzes, like career quizzes, stressing out about what I'm doing with my life and my career. Just kind of actually doing the things that are gonna lead me to a career, instead of focusing on, oh, I need to be like just this, an artist, or I need to be just a graphic designer and like I can't do anything else apart from those things. Your career is always changing and you're always gonna have different things that you're gonna do. You're not always gonna be set on like one job for the rest of your life, which is what I thought once I came out of uni, but it's completely fine to have different things that you feel like you want to do. So yeah, don't stress about your career. Number 9 is do things you enjoy. Again, with uni and just like kind of school work, you feel like you're just doing this one thing all the time. Really just finding even just that one thing that you really love, making sure you spend time doing that instead of just doing work. Even write a list of the things you enjoy and try to kind of implement them into your daily life, or like at least kind of do one of those things in a week so that you feel like you're not just bored and doing the same thing every day. Number 10 is that you don't have to please everyone you meet, or you don't have to like everyone that you meet. I'm very kind of bad in social situations. I'm always very conscious about like, oh, how I'm coming off to someone, or I'm very shy like when I first meet people, and I always feel like, oh, I have to kind of get them to like me, or like, do they like me? Like, do they hate me? If there's someone that you feel like you don't kind of vibe with, if you feel like they don't like you, you don't really like them, you don't have to have like multiple people that you think are gonna be your friend. You're gonna see them once, and at the end of the day they're thinking about their life. You don't have to please everyone and make everyone basically like you and trying to be successful for them. You have to think you have to be successful or just like happy for yourself. Number 11 is to go for a walk without music. I always used to listen to music at first, and sometimes I kind of got bored of listening to the same songs, or just like it felt very overstimulating having to kind of go around people when I'm walking, greet people, and it's like I have music in. I once tried going on a walk without music and I felt so much better. Kind of just listening to like nature and like the birds and people talking just felt so much more peaceful. Sometimes you don't need to always be listening to music. Number 12 is to have a schedule or a routine. In the beginning when I came out of uni, I obviously didn't have any routine, and now I feel like I definitely have a much better routine. Obviously it takes time as well to get yourself into a good routine. It's okay to slowly implement those things into your daily life. Definitely having a routine does help with kind of getting things done. Obviously it doesn't have to be exactly the same every day. It's fine if you don't do something. Just having some kind of routine, or at least 3 things that you can go around each day, is really, really helpful. Number 13 is to cook your own meals. Like obviously if you're not someone who cooks, or you feel like you're not good at cooking, you might think, oh, okay, I obviously can't cook my own meals, but I feel like everyone can at least kind of find a recipe, like one recipe that they might want to try and make, or something that looks really good that they want to try, and doing it in your own time is a really fun thing to do. I used to not be good at cooking and not really cook that much, but I really enjoy it now, just kind of making a meal for myself, and it actually feels really rewarding at the end. Cooking your own meals and even cooking for others is really fun, and I feel like it's something that everyone should try. Number 14 is being 21 is not the end of the world. Once again, when I came out of uni, I kind of started to realize, okay, I'm 21, I've just come out of uni, I have to have my life sorted out, and I felt like I was a failure kind of not having been successful at 21. But now that I'm almost 22, I've realized I can't do anything about that now, and now I've realized I need to just kind of calm down, and 21 is not the end of the world. When I was like 16, I was like, oh, I need to kind of do all these things once I'm 20 or 21, but I still haven't done those things. Something that I've also heard from Simone Squared on YouTube, she mentioned something about how when you've just turned an adult, so let's say you're 18, think of it as if that's when you were born. So when you're 18, you're like 0, and now at 21 you'd be 3 years old. So think of it that way. Number 15 is to go outside. Just go outside, you know? If you're someone that feels like they're just kind of sitting at home all day, which is kind of like me. I wouldn't say I'm really a homebody, but I just find that I don't really go outside much. There's nothing really interesting for me to do outside at the moment. And honestly, I think that can be a very bad thing because you don't feel like you're really socializing and seeing people and just being outside in nature. And those are things that I feel like are very important. So yeah, go outside. Number 16 is it's okay if you have too many hobbies or too many interests. This I feel like really applies to me because because I do have a lot of interests and things that I like to do, which you'd think it's a good thing, but honestly, like, I would see other people around me, like in my family, and they kind of have like one thing that they really enjoy doing. But for me, I've always felt like I've had 50 things that I enjoy doing, and I've always felt weird about myself about liking too many things. Now I've realized kind of it's okay and it's a good thing to have loads of interests and hobbies, and you know, I don't have to do them all at once, and it can be very overwhelming. You can just do them one bit at a time. You don't have to rush into doing all of them at once. Number 17 is it's okay if you don't have enough hobbies or interests. To me, I can't grasp that or get my head around that because I have too many hobbies and interests, but I know that there's people that don't really feel like they have anything that they're interested in. I'm making a list of things that you enjoy. This could be like topics or even like certain items. Finding one thing that you could do based off of that would really help find that one thing that you really like to do. I feel like you can find a hobby obviously at home. Also going outside and exploring things and maybe seeing, oh, someone else does that, I wish I could do that, and actually trying that out would then eventually make you find that hobby. Number 18 is to communicate. Like I mentioned, like when I was younger, I was very shy. I always found it hard to socialize and communicate with people, but now I've kind of pushed myself to make phone calls and just text people without even thinking and saying things exactly how you initially want to say it. Say whatever comes in your mind, and I just feel like letting people know about something and, you know, making sure that they're telling you something is very crucial. Communication is very important. Number 19, don't let people decide for you or tell you what you can or can't do. This could be like your family or friend. They're just kind of telling you what to do and feel like they're controlling you, then that's not right, because you obviously have your own say and ways of doing things and knowing what you know is best. So yeah, just don't let them decide for you, and tell them straight up, like, if you think that that's wrong and that you don't want to do that. Okay, number 20 is to know that it's okay to not feel creative. So obviously this would go for someone that is a creative, or even just like if you are someone that's creative through like your hobbies, it's completely fine to have like a creative block. For me, I kind of do that with illustration. I love drawing and illustrating, but right now at the moment I haven't drawn anything for like months because I just feel like I haven't had that motivation, and I keep thinking like that's wrong. This is just something that happens for a reason. I know that I will get back into it at a certain point. It's okay to not feel like you're creative all the time, or I guess knowing that it's okay to not feel like you're being productive all the time. And finally, we are at 21. For 21, it's to know that having success and reaching your goals will take time. This, I feel like, is probably the most important thing, because I guess the whole point why I'm making this video is that I feel like at 21, I feel like I have to have everything sorted out and have accomplished so many things so far, but now I've learned that success and reaching my goals will take time. I obviously haven't managed to achieve them all now, and that's obviously very normal and realistic. There's obviously some circumstances where people are successful at 21, and I feel like that's what kind of makes you, a lot of people feel like they have to be successful at that age, is when you're comparing your life to someone else. Just know that you have to take your own time, and you obviously have your own path. You're gonna reach your goals and be successful at a different time, and that's completely fine. I feel like that's the most talking that I've done within like 1 hour. Okay, so yes, that is everything for this video. That is 21 things I've learned at 21. Still feel weird that I'm 21 and almost 22, and I just hope that little me, younger me, is very appreciative of this video. I was once 10 years old and now I'm 21. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next video. Bye!